Um, I'm listening to this. For me, they've been using a lot of fake woke individual or people who try to present themselves as this like daring group of people. The reality at this point is too much. The proof that they torture children is there because there's testimonies. The proof that they manipulate people in ways that is meant to break you down is there. Testimonials have been very systematic in the sense of what they say. You know, when you hear multiple people saying the same thing, you start seeing a pattern. When they tell you that I'm being forced to get sexual stimulations in this fashion, you find out that they do things is very similar, and that's because it works. Why change something that works? What is the way they can break somebody down mentally? Now, at the end of the day, this is a cognitive warfare in the sense that we're test subject to that, and the Department of Defense is using test subjects and utilizing these bottom feeders around you who love doing what they do. We're not talking about the best of the best. We're not talking about the creme de la creme. We talk about people who do find enjoyment to feel special, that they have the ability to do these things to human beings, but yet their life is to be determined. And they want you to never think. They want you to start thinking this illogical way. Now you've been validated. When somebody say the exact same things as you and say literally they're forcing me to get stimulation, and sometimes they aim it toward children, or somebody calls it the pedophilia type of torture, you understand what they do. Now, for me, it's been the same thing. For example, they'll stimulate me early on before I see a child, and then stimulate me toward a child. It's just so nasty, but that's what they do. And they think they're acting because gaslighting is majorly used. It's used non-stop, right? These things I make, the videos I've made, it's just to continuously never let them escape. For example, 2 seconds ago, not too long ago, I should say, uh, there's been a picture of like a mother with her young child, and they're forcing me this black young child who's a girl, which they forced me to get stimulation. But the way they get me to get stimulation, sometimes they have me have sex stimulations before seeing this picture, and then you hear these perps making noise campaign or interacting with me via V2K. Like, now we have proved this. You listen, now we proved it with it. So are you saying that there's no validation that you do these pedophilia type of torture, right? Now, there's no point to have this back and forth with these people. Their job is to make you experience these nasty reactions and make you accept this. That's their job. They enjoy this job because it doesn't take much. And some of them really think this is like a losing a game. Now we lost, we won. It's like, listen, just continue to do your job, forcing men and women to have sexual stimulation to children, and watch how the things comes back to you. Because the testimonies are just deadly. To hear somebody who said these things, and you see childlike people who can't even tell me anything about themselves, wanting you to accept this pedophilia type of torture. I don't care the tonality they use. I don't care how they try to agitate me. I will never let them escape. Because on top of that, on top of being validated that they do this pedophilia type of torture, is to find out who's the pedophiles. To find out that these people work for governmental entities where pedophilia is such an issue that the bill was passed to try to limit that. And to hear these people really still trying to sound like, I'm gonna see you I'm not gonna see you for the people who involve in a program where sexual stimulation toward children is utilized to break down. No, it's not gonna happen. And you know that. This is why they don't like to be seen anymore. Because is them mapping to me as when I was a child? Or is the pedophilia type of torture that you keep hearing that other target individuals said? Is this childlike looking people say they mapped it with the dogs? Or is this program run by the DoD using the most sophisticated technology to implement these weapons that will be the future of, I guess, warfare, where cognitive warfare is going to be the future, and altering the mind is used to break you down. So for me, it's been just people talking to me, try to annoy me, but it's humiliating to them. It is. They're gonna have to swallow their respect. They're gonna have to swallow their self-respect. This is why they send these childlike people. Because there's no doubt that they force people to have sexual stimulation toward children. You cannot doubt that. I will never subscribe to it. And remember, the good old days for them was the day when I didn't know that they did that. I remember they used the most childlike individual who's maybe like a costume, and they'll have babies, kids running, and they'll force me to get stimulation. And this white woke couch student will look at me, and like, "That's you," and she rocks back, and then she'll come back and she's like, and they won't. That was before I knew. Now I'm listening to. Before I knew about target individuals, before I knew that it was such a systematic tactic, that is just so humiliating. Now they do that embarrassment. I'm listening to, they force me to have sexual arousals and they aim those towards children. They start doing the pedophilia type of torture, try to like continuously while they try to stay strong. Yeah, it's you. And it's the clown. Now obviously at this point, not only I have the testimonies of what they do to target individual, but I know that they're so pedophilia centric. The government, these governmental entities, they try to do things to limit the amount of pedophilia, the issues that they have. There's no back and forth. As they talk about now, we mapped it, when it's us making you think the way you thought. Not to understand, there's a bill called End National Defense Abuse Act that's been passed because there's so much child porn being downloaded using DoD devices. And to hear these people be like, no, we mapped this here, we're not doing this, and they're talking this. It's like, listen, whatever horrible thing is going to happen to me is because I'm a test subject for these DoD entities that have problem with child porn, meaning they have issues within those agencies. This trash talking to me, wanting to distract me into accepting these things. Distract me to not see what these things that they do to people, to make me think that somehow it's some woke group. But no, that's what they do. This is what they do. This is what these governmental entities do, and they're gonna force me to get sexual stimulation toward children. And this trash will do everything possible for me to not to not see things for what they are. Them forcing me to get sexual arousals to children in different variations. Before, what they were doing, they were making me think. They were trying to make me feel guilty of. When I was in high school, I remember there was a high school dance, and I remember on the dance floor with this girl, and when we were on the dance floor, things got a little, typical high school dances. And they'll start giving me stimulation, and then this thing about a child, a stepmother and her child came up, and they start stimulating me toward the child. But started off by stimulating me on the memory of me having me and this girl at the dance floor, the dancers in high school. Then transitioning that to the child. That's the things they do. Every day, every time there's a child, they're gonna force me to have sexual stimulation. They're gonna try to make you acceptive of this. It's like, no, but black little girls is you. Remember you felt like that. You remember this? Like, no, that's what you're forcing me to do. To experience. And yes, that's your job. This is the cognitive warfare that, quote unquote, I'm a test subject to. And I know that you are forcing me to have sexual stimulation toward that child. That's what you do in this program. And then you're gonna have this bottom feeders make noise campaign, have the dog bark, do whatever noise campaign you can to make me identify to this. There's no losing or winnings. It's just me recognizing that I'm manipulated to experience that, and it's gonna happen all the time. My brain's gonna be, they're gonna try to have these dialogues and battles in my brain that is nonsensical. There's no point to try to do anything. You force me to have sexual stimulation. You're gonna try to make me, sexual stimulation for children specifically. Hence, you hear the noise campaign. This is a whole ecosystem, forcing a target individual to accept these false reactions. And why this noise campaign is happening is because these governmental entities are running this program, and the job of these perps interacting with me via voice to call is to get you to accept these things. You gotta be strong and understanding of that. Now, there's nothing I can do about the manipulation they make me experience. They have taken over my brain, and they can overlay whatever reaction they want me to experience. That is something I have to accept. Something I can do is understanding that this is how they're gonna make me experience. Then they're gonna do their job to gaslight me to accepting this. There is nothing I can do about that, but I can definitely see them for the low life and bottom feeders that are trash, that sold their soul to pedophiles. They're the bottom feeders to these pedophiles. Why am I calling them bottom feeders for pedophiles? It's because these governmental entities that have empowered these losers. that have empowered this trash to do these things to us, that makes them enjoy these things, are those entities have so much child porn issues that a bill called End National Defense Abuse Act was passed in order to limit the amount of child porn they download using government devices, meaning the DoD provides these employees computers and devices, and these employees are downloading so much child porn that they were ranked 19th out of 2,900 network in regard of child porn trafficking within the network. So much so they are ranked top tier. And these bottom feeders that I'm hearing interacting with me via voice to call are employed by these governmental entities to implement these tactics. And these tactics consist of manipulating targeted individuals, which are men and women, to have sexual arousals, sexual stimulations toward children for the purpose of pushing a target individual into insanity. Some of them ended up killing, some of them killed themselves, some of them killed to kill themselves. And these bottom feeders, this trash, are not brave. Matter of fact, bravery, daringness, all of that is removed. Matter of fact, if you are a brave individual, if you consider yourself brave, or if you're brave and you involve yourself in this program, you better remove any sense of bravery, because your job is to be a coward. You can sound brave, you can sound fierce, but you better not act fierce. You better not act brave. You can do all these things, but your job is to maintain a character. And you are just an employee, a bottom feeder for these entities filled with pedophiles. And the government is running this show. You better know that. You better know your place. You can say everything else, but you better not say the things we don't want you to say. And they know what it is. So for me, I understand when I hear these bottom feeders tell me you're going to be sanctioned, you're going to be banned, like, yes, the government is going to make me, you're going to destroy me. Yes. My employer currently is not really my employer. I never saw them as really for employer. I just knew once I was employed by these people, they never employed me for me to work. Even though I work, they were just contracting me, or not even contracting, employing me to break me down. But in my years working with them, they've been humiliated, and I understand why so many of them leave, because how much humiliation can they deal with? Within my years here, mass shootings have happened because of a target individual losing his mind, because that's their job. They push people to lose their mind, killing 18 people, a child died. DoD issues have come up over and over, indicating a clear pattern of pedophilia issues ongoing in these entities. Testimonies of men, women, even children have shown a pure pattern that these people are doing horrible things to the most vulnerable. And the tortures and the abuses, the tortures are just ridiculous. As these trash try to find ways to vilify you, sometimes it's almost comical, while they're here zapping genitals of babies. So to all my target individual, for me it's been simple. When they try to play this gimmick character, it's not the same anymore. The effect has changed drastically because there's too much nastiness. These people yelling with this fake passion and emotion that is forced in order for you to accept this thing. The emotion now here is different. I understand what emotion they have. They do have emotion. It's that actually, I should just repeat that in a better way. They have an emotion, and when they yell and make this noise campaign, it's not the emotion that of anger. It's the emotion for you to please don't think about what we do to children. Stop there, stop. Think that way. It's this emotion of like, oh my gosh, don't stay lost in this falsified reality. That's the emotion they have now, right? They'll make me think of something, make me think in this certain way, and start yelling and be aggressive and emotional, not because this is something they like, oh my gosh, it's because they want you to box in these thoughts and don't want you to think these people who are yelling at me, who are torturing me, are torturing children in these ways, are torturing women in this way. They are forcing men and women to have sexual stimulation toward children. They have caused this mass shooting that killed a child. They don't want you to think like that. So it's like, no, no, oh, pay now, stop. It's like a character for you to not think about the horrible things they do. The emotion is for you to not see things for what they are. Once you see this thing, they just go away for a while. They wait. Okay, you can make him think like that again. Oh, make them more. Oh no, my God, you die. And then you hear the testimony of children being tortured, sexually violated, and it's like, oh, nada. They go away again. Then they make you have sexual stimulation toward children. We mapped it. It's you. We mapped it. You were. And then you hear testimony of women say, they forced me to get sexual arousals toward children. Or they do the pedophilia type of torture. Or why is there so many pedophiles behind those walls at the Pentagon? Let's turn out. Then when there's another stimulation of falsified reaction, oh, no, it's you, pay, abuse. And then you hear suffocating a 7-year-old, sexually torture a child, and they go back. That's what they do. It's like a game, but reality is there still. I will never let them live this fantasy. Death comes to all of us. I know they were playing with my organs all through. Oh my gosh, last night, Jesus. I felt like my organs is failing. I'm like, listen, I think the challenge here is to keep me alive. It's not even killing me. I think the challenge at this point is how long can we keep him alive before, So for me, death is just, okay, well, I mean, that's the one thing we have in common at this point. We're all gonna die here. So when they tell me how you're gonna die, well, that's the thing that we have in common. You will die too. Maybe you even die before me. But I don't care about that. So for me, I've accepted death to come at any point, and I'll be welcoming of death because it's the nature of life. We're gonna die. These people think death is usually what happens to others. Right? I can see them. The concept of death to them is just a foreign thing that they see other people go through. So I'm like, yo, okay, keep and in the business of doing these horrible things to people. So death needs for people who kill people. Let's just say you're in the army, you're in the military, you've been at war, you've been killing people. The people have been. Now these people, you'll see, they're the most. They're the people who understand death the most because they deal with death. They understand death is what they've done to others. So death to them is like expected. If you ever talk to somebody who's been at war and been killing people because of war and been shot at, these people, even killers, they ask, like, death is to them is just like, of course, death is something they understand very well but these people were doing this in this program because the way they can kill somebody, a child can do. A button can be pressed. It's not like, like in the field of war where you have bombs and, to them it's like, it's such an easy thing to do. They forget the concept that they're gonna die. It's like, they don't live reality. I'm like, yeah, death is okay. Death is what we're gonna go through. I'd rather die like this. Trust you, you're the one who have the option to live life however you want. You just got trapped by this empowerment you got, this intoxicating empowerment of controlling people's life, or even involved in a program that can control the life of others. But your trash ass don't even know what's going to happen to you. And instead of enjoying life as limited as it's going to be, you are here doing these nasty things to people. I'd rather die in the hell than live in your nastiness, in this paradise where you force people to experience these things. You just ruin your own life by choice. My choice is ruined because I was put in this program by others. You can't even play the femme fatale feminist because this program does so much horrible things. There is nothing that can counter the horribleness of what this is about. You can't. The tortures are so grotesque, and you torture because obviously this program is not about avenging. This is the bullshit storylines they try to create. The truth is they need human subjects, right? Human subjects are used to improve this technology. This is why we're here. That's why I'm being tortured this way. This is why they make themselves this retarded. Yes, they use childlike minded people on the spectrum. But the only thing, the resources, the stupidity. No, I understand the reality. That's why there'll be more men, there'll be more women, there may be more children tortured. Not because they want to torture children, not because they want to torture women, not even because they want to torture men. It's because the technology is getting better. And it got better because they use human subjects of all ages, all gender, and all culture. I understand this. The rest is just BS storylines they try to come up with to block our reality. Some of these bottom feeders have tortured children. Some of them have done horrible things to women. I know that. They understand that, hey, that's not fair, right? It's life. The same people to be like, oh my gosh, you pay for not pay. It's abuse. They're here suffocating a 7-year-old. I don't think I'm any smarter than them. It's just they have desensitized themselves from reality. I realize reality and I accept it for what it is. Now, I will never let them stay in character in front of me. Because what they do to children, the way they abuse, not even women too, but children, so horrible. The way they manipulate men and women, just these ways to just disrupt and distort and break down a human being by forcing a man to have a sexual stimulation toward children, and forcing a woman to have sexual stimulation toward children, just to make them lose their mind to the point of killing. A lot of these mass shooters that were pushed to that level never had thoughts of killing people. Why do you think they got pushed to that level? It was too disturbing. It's like, I'd rather die and kill than end these torments and kill these people. While you listen to these retards, these childlike people telling, no, they are. I see. They see. That's no wonder they went and lost their mind. Listen to a trash who can't even tell me anything about her. She doesn't. We look at her, they're like children. But these children are involved in a program that does horrible things. So you look at them for truly, you're going to be doing horrible things for a long time too. And they know at this point, they try to play the childlike in front of me. I will look at you for the shit that you are. I'd rather get raped in life, in raped every day than do what you do, you nasty shit. Continue to live. They sold your dumb ass to pedophiles and now you're here. They are. Target individuals, stay strong.